Hello, hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to the intuitive card reading for the week of January 12th through 18th. What do I want to say before we jump into it? A couple of things, actually. So first, I live right outside a playground, and it's actually a semi-nice day today. So you might hear kids in the background playing. Hopefully it's not too distracting, but I apologize. And yeah, but the window was closed, so I did the best that I can. So you might hear some kids running around being kids. And then what else do I have to say? Oh my gosh, I have a new deck for you guys. I'm so excited. It's actually messages from the Spirits of Nature Oracle deck by Dr. Stephen Farmer. Yes, I am saying that correctly. So I have the two usual decks. And then I have this one as well. So I'm very excited. I felt very called to it. I saw somebody on TikTok reading from them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't been called to an oracle deck in a really long time. And that was it, that she told me she was using this one, and I went ahead and I bought it. So I definitely have a new deck for you guys. It is more grounded too, and I've definitely been feeling a lot more grounded. I think a couple weeks ago we got a message to become more grounded. This is part of it for me. I was definitely drawn to it for that's the main reason. Getting connected more to nature. So I love that. I'm very excited to see what messages come up today from that deck. What else? You guys know the usual. Like this video, share this video with anybody that needs to hear the energies and influences of the week. Subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out as numbers go up. The more content I'll be able to put out, as well as the better, the healthier I get, the more content I'll be able to put out. What else? Comments down below. Just be kind is all I ask. And that's it, guys. This is the middle of January of a brand new year. So hopefully it's going well for you. But let's see what else we have in store this week. All right, what do we have in the need? Shadow, shapeshifter. Protect your image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. Okay, so this is kind of like being a chameleon, which again, it's not a bad or a good thing, but when it's in the shadow, it's basically saying it has like two parts to it. So when you're in the shadow chameleon shapeshifter, it's kind of saying like you kind of just go with the crowd and whatever they're doing. Like it's the opposite of like individualism, right? And so basically this is kind of saying we do need that individualism. We kind of do need to stop trying to blend into the crowds, trying to blend into whatever, like fitting ourselves into whatever is going on in our lives. Or into a certain group or a certain organization, and I know we've been getting like a lot of messages around like joining communities and things like that, but we're talking about aligned communities, not communities that we have to shapeshift, right? Where we have to be the chameleon, or like we have to kind of just blend in. This is more about standing out. So we need to stand out. We need to be more individual. We need to stop morphing ourselves. And if you identifying as an empath, which I do, I sometimes, yes, I compare an empath to a sponge, but I also compare it, like absorbing all the information, all the energy, that's why we have to sometimes have like a copious amount of time alone, but also like a leaf, like kind of like we don't stand for anything. We're kind of just like blowing all over the place. We can fit into that group and that group and that group, and that's great. But at the same time, it's kind of like we don't necessarily have like a foundation. So this is more saying like we need more of a foundation. We need to be more of ourselves. We need to be more of an individual. We need to stand out more. So that's a pretty powerful message coming right off the bat here. So we need to stop hiding ourselves, right? Our higher selves, our authentic selves. All right, action needed. We have truth be told. Oh my gosh. I mean, that kind of accompanies this, because basically this is saying like tell the truth, right? So action needed, tell the truth. So maybe there's something in your life that you need to kind of like tell the truth. This could also be like telling the truth about who we are, telling our personal truths, right? Which is basically like our authentic self, and we're like being honest with ourselves. Like there might be something in your life that you're not honest with your, self about, or you're not honest with somebody else about. So, gosh. It being under action needed, guys, is kind of saying like you gotta tell the truth this week. You gotta be honest with someone, or be honest with yourselves. Most importantly, being honest with yourselves equals you then being honest with people around you about who you are. Okay, so guys, right off the bat, we've definitely got this identity thing kind of happening. So it's very interesting. So maybe we're feeling more like ourselves, or feeling like more like our new selves, or we're really just reconnecting to our authentic selves or higher selves, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, this is about telling the truth. But again, it could also be maybe not necessarily talking about us. It could also be like maybe you have to tell somebody something. Maybe you've been holding a secret from somebody. Okay, and you have to tell them. So guys, woof, this is I think there's a truth seeker card in here somewhere in these decks, possibly. I don't think it's in the new deck, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got more cards like that. There's a seeker card, so yeah, that could constitute the truth seeker. I wouldn't be surprised if we got that in the archetype deck, but let's keep going. Whew, what interesting, heavy stuff, guys, right off the bat. Okay, issue with we have rice nourishment. Okay, so this is right from the new deck. All right, so nourishing ourselves. So I think about food, right? When we have to give ourselves what we need. So the issue is, so it's under issue. So we're having an issue giving ourselves what we need to take care of ourselves, what we need to function, what we need to operate every day, like that kind of thing. So we're having issues with that. So this could manifest as like, maybe quite literally food. Maybe we're not eating the best way this week, or we haven't been, right? And it's becoming an issue. And we're starting, becoming more aware of like that issue. This could be like maybe you need like alone time, and you haven't been giving yourself that and you really need that. So there's something here that we're realizing that we need, that we haven't necessarily gotten, but we kind of like need it for our survival. Like we need it to feel like a whole human being, basically. But we're having issues getting that, which isn't great. So do the best that you can to nourish yourselves, give yourselves what you need. I wouldn't be surprised after this card that we get like a, we need to take care of ourselves, self-care card. I think there's one in the Wisdom of the Oracle around that. But yeah, definitely being able to kind of give ourselves what we need. All right, challenge upside down is the beggar, dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. Okay, so, it's upside down. So basically it's saying that we are dependent on something, and there's a challenge there with our dependence. Okay, so we might be so how do I say this? There's nothing wrong, like, I cannot emphasize this enough, guys, about the archetype deck, and I've been using it for a really long time. Light does not mean good, shadow does not mean bad, okay? It's just, there's a light and a shadow to everything, and we need both, okay? And so sometimes we have to depend on others, okay? And this could be, the way that I think of it is like social programs. Like sometimes we just are in a really bad place in life and we need help, okay? And we need to be dependent on food stamps or whatever. And there's no shame in that game, okay? So this is talking about like on a broader level. But it's not supposed to be forever is basically what it is. We can't depend, because we need interdependence, right? We need both, and both things serve us at certain times in our life. So we might be depending like on, maybe you're in college and you've been depending on your parents, like paying all of your bills, right? They can't do that forever. But they're definitely help, you need a leg up, you need help, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it can't be forever. And so this is kind of saying like, you're trying to kind of get out of that, right? You're trying to, giving that example that I just gave, maybe you're trying to figure out, how do I become more interdependent? How do I become more, pay my own way kind of situation? Because there's a challenge with the dependence. Like it might be running out. Like maybe your parents are saying like, look, you've got 3 to 6 months to find your own job and to find your own place and be on your own. Like maybe you have a deadline going on here, right? Where you can't necessarily be doing this anymore. I can't think of another example off the top of my head. Maybe, giving the example I gave before, maybe your food stamps are running out because maybe you're making a little too much more money now and you don't qualify or something like that. There's something feels like there might be like a time crunch or like a deadline, and you're going to have to start figuring out like how to be a little bit more independent, a little bit more interdependent, and it's challenging, and you're trying to figure out, it's almost like you're you're in that cocoon, like becoming a butterfly, but you're not quite to the butterfly yet. You're not, thriving. You still maybe need some help, but, maybe you're blooming a little bit, what's the word? I guess blooming is the word, a little too soon, right? You're going to be like kicking you out of the cocoon a little too early or something like that, and you need to learn how to fly like on the fly. If that makes sense. So I definitely do feel like there's this, I know I just like threw a lot at you, but like trying to explain this energy is like you have to learn to be a little bit more independent with something, and it's really challenging, and you're finding it really hard to kind of do it on your own, and you'll figure it out. I know like attracts like, okay? And I know the people that come and watch my card readings are probably the strongest people I've ever met. They're badasses, and you guys always figure it out because spirit because you guys are connected to spirit, and spirit is your power, right? And so I know you guys are powerful. I already know. And you guys are awesome. So you're going to figure it out. I just know it, but it is challenging, at least right now. So I would like to say with that, ending it with that, hold on. You've got this. Keep going. Okay. All right. We have what's changing. Time to go. Did we not get this did we not get this? I feel like we got this in the last reading. I feel like we did. If we did, double down. Spirit is basically saying like, duh, in the same spot. I think we got this changed. So we are letting go of something that we need to let go of. Okay, something that we are recognizing is not for us. So maybe we're still letting it go, still leaving it behind, that kind of thing. Still figuring out how to leave. Okay, so we're leaving something that isn't for us. And I love that it's under change. So it means that we're actually doing it in our real life. Like we can see it tangibly happening in our environment. Okay, so you are leaving something. Maybe you're actively in, maybe you gave like a month's notice to your job, and it's still kind of going on, and you're ready to kind of go. Or maybe you're like closing something up and it takes a while. Maybe you're closing in on your house and you're moving, like that kind of thing. So you're continuing to go, and you're continuing to leave behind what does not serve you anymore, and we love it. All right, focus on thirst, the desert. God, these, do you guys see I never know if the images are super clear, but this is a beautiful desert with red rocks. I'm a desert girl. I don't know about you guys. I could go without water. I obviously live in a city. I'm a city girl too, but I'm also a red rocks girl, okay? I'm a desert girl, okay? I love Arizona. Okay, I love places like that. I think it's beautiful. Cacti, all of it. I love it. I love the dry, the dry humidity. Oh, chef's kiss, man. Chef's kiss. So anyway, with that being said, okay, so we're thirsty. So basically it's symbolizing we're thirsty for something. We are desiring something. We want it so badly, right? It's so like, it's right at the tip of our tongue. Like we want it so, not the tip of the tongue. That's a bad, guys, that's a bad analogy, because the tip of the tongue is kind of like not being able to get words out. So, but it's almost like it's right there. Okay, it's right there. We want it so badly. And so there's something that maybe we want so badly. I like it coming under focus, because basically it's saying like, that's your priority. Get what you want. Give yourself quench your damn thirst, right? That's what Spirit is saying. So definitely go after for whatever you want. Look at what your desires are. And I love that. And I love it coming, under these two, the truth be told and the shapeshifter, because I think they go hand in hand, honestly. You have to be truthful about who you are to get what you really, truly want. Okay, so I feel like they're definitely interchangeable there, and they're definitely connected in that way. It's like being honest with yourself about who you are and what you want. Okay, and so go after it for sure. I love that card there. That's a good one. All right, reflect. We have femme fatale in the shadow, inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. Okay, so this is like, we had this femme fatale in the shadow before. You kind of popped out up here, I think, popped up here. Okay, so this is like seducing. This is about, Yeah, seducing I think is a good word. Um, I'm trying to figure out a way to explain this and how how it integrates into the reflection spot. Okay, so this is maybe reflecting on your inappropriate uses of maybe more material things over anything that is of more merit. Does that make sense? So maybe you have used, because the card also says money, power, sensuality, like you've used all of those things maybe to get what you wanted. Again, does not make you a bad person, but Spirit is for some reason asking us to kind of reflect on that part of our lives where maybe we manipulated to get what we wanted: money, power, sensuality, material things, that kind of thing. So reflect on that. I don't know. This is very like out there energy. When I say out there energy, it doesn't necessarily reflect anything that I just mentioned and how I can tie it into it and why it might be coming up. But maybe you guys know, put it down below if you're brave enough, as they usually say, to let me know how that applies to you. But I definitely feel like we need to, maybe it's asking us, we kind of have to get our needs met. Like basically it's basically saying like we've gotten our needs met by these things: sensuality, power, money, seduction of some kind, of those really big things. And so maybe Spirit is asking us to kind of reflect on that, because we need to kind of go forward and get our needs met in a healthier way, as I would say, or a more merit-based way or something like that. This is a little bit of left field, but maybe it'll resonate with some of you guys. If you're like, this doesn't really resonate with me, maybe it could mean reflecting on your privilege. Could possibly be that for sure. This could also mean, because it's a femme fatale, and so it goes for any gender that you identify with, but this could be, if you're identifying as female, how you've used your own looks and beauty to kind of get what you want. And it does, like, and I have to say, like, again, this does not mean like a bad way. It's just saying like reflecting on these experiences, reflecting on those things, see what comes up, see how they make you feel. But again, I think that it might be coming up because we have to maybe stop doing that or find another way to get our needs met that doesn't involve those things, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does make sense. That's always a tricky one. It's a more complicated archetype, I feel like, especially when it comes under like a more complicated, reflect is always about introspection. So I did the best I could with that one. All right, responsibilities, clean it up. Okay, so this is really about like cleaning things up. This is about getting your ducks in a row, finishing up something possibly as well. So your responsibilities are kind of to do all of that stuff. I think it goes hand in hand with the time to go, because it's like you're wrapping something up, you're cleaning something up. This could also just mean like cleaning, is under responsibility. So maybe you got to clean the house, or you've been meaning to kind of do something. And usually this kind of comes up like during like a spring cleaning kind of situation, but it's in the middle of January. So take that as you will. Maybe there is something that you have to kind of organize or clean out, or, whether it's like a garage or something. So yeah, it could literally mean that as well. Money, finances, and career. We have air. Okay, so this is an interesting one. It says, I don't want to mispronounce this word. It's ruka, I believe, and it's Hebrew. I read the book's description on it because I was like, what does that mean? And basically it means like breath. It means like, it's air is the element here that it's representing. So it's like breathing. It's like, to me, I interpret it as like presence, right? And so this is about like taking a breath, being present. So it's under money, finances, and career. And so basically this is saying, take a breath, be as present as possible in what you're doing. I also want to say, like, it feels like it's not anything that like we can interpret as like nothing moving forward. So Maybe it's not the best card to get out of money, finances, and career, because I know a lot of us want to be like moving forward or getting more money or expanding our business or, you know, like anything like big like that. But some weeks are just like there's things where nothing happens. And it feels like that week, you know, where like not much moves forward, nothing moves backwards. It's just, it is what it is. Like it's in the present. So it definitely feels like it could be something like that, where if you are expecting a promotion or something to move forward or get another job or, you know, like something like that, it might not move forward is basically what it's saying. If it does, great for you. Maybe this doesn't apply to you, but it definitely does feel like it might be more stagnant type energy. And nothing necessarily, like I said, moving forward, moving backwards. All right, surprise. We have poet upside down, turns a lyrical gift to negative or destructive effect. Okay, so this is like using your words to not uplift people or to make people think or to inspire them. It's more so like using your words to like a detrimental, or the card uses the word destructive effect. So this is kind of like another way to say like watch what you say this week. And it's under surprise. So you could be surprised at the things that fly out of your mouth this week. But it could also be like to us. So somebody close to you might say something out of pocket to you. Out of the blue, right? Where you're not expecting somebody to talk to you like that or say something like that. But again, it could be us too, right? It could be us doing that to somebody. So just be careful with what you say, because it could really hurt somebody, or, you know, just be prepared that somebody might do that to you as well. Words hurt, you know, words matter. And, you know, be as, what's the word? Meticulous, maybe, you know, choose your words wisely, that kind of thing. So it's just a warning there. All right, we have friends, Treasure Island. Ooh, okay, so Treasure Island is basically saying like lots of treasure. It's like you hit the gold mine. So, I mean, the only thing I can kind of say here is like we've got a good, you know, week with friends. Like maybe it's not the happy card, but it is saying like you feel like you hit the jackpot. So there is happiness, joy that comes along with this. Feeling like really grateful for your friends. It's again not the blessed card, but I feel like all of those things encompass this energy. Feeling like you hit the jackpot in some way with friends or meeting somebody. Maybe you meet somebody very aligned for you, possibly. It could be something like as literal as you get lucky with a friend, and this could mean like, I don't know, maybe you both entered a contest and you guys won something, very specific message, but maybe, maybe. This could be something as like small, like as you never find parking near a friend's house, and you find the best, you know, you hit the jackpot and you found the best parking possible at your friend's house. I know when I live in the city, so when people are driving, that's a big thing when that's why I don't drive. That's why I don't have my own car, my own vehicle. But, you know, finding parking in a city is like a nightmare. So maybe you find parking, you know, you felt lucky because you found parking right in front of her house or something. I don't know. Or his house, you know, their house, whatever. It could be something as small as that, but it feels like you hit the jackpot somewhere with your friend group. Like it feels like abundance. It feels very lucky in that way. You know, you found treasure. Maybe you went to go visit a friend and you found money on the floor walking there, or something on the ground walking there. It could be something like that, like those little things as well. I don't think that's little. It depends on how much money it is, right? But it could be something like that, like something along the lines where you feel like you hit the jackpot and you're lucky, you know. But again, could be like, oh God, I feel so lucky that these people are my friends. You know, I feel so lucky and blessed to be in their presence, or, you know, be their friend or whatever, or have friends like this. So could be all of those things. Some of those things. Romantic connection. We have lightning, breakthrough. Okay. So there's breakthrough. That's a good card to get. Guys, don't you love this art? I know I talked about the pyramids up there. This one is a little bland. But right here, beautiful, beautiful art. Beautiful picture of lightning. Okay, so breakthrough and romantic connection. So this could be you maybe are going to couples therapy with your partner and you guys had a breakthrough. Or maybe this is a breakthrough in the fact of like a consciousness shift, or perspective shift, like about your relationship, where you're like, oh my God, breakthrough. Like I didn't realize I was doing this to my partner because it came from my feelings of abandonment or whatever. And it's like, it feels like a breakthrough to you. Or maybe you feel like you're breaking through to your partner. Like you've told them over and over and over again what your needs are. Okay, going back to thirst, your need, like taking care of like your desire, like maybe your desire, I use the word desire there. But we also have the nourishment up here with your needs. That's where I got it from, the needs up there. So maybe you've talked to your partner about your needs, your desires, and they're finally a breakthrough of like them finally getting it. Like they didn't really like understand what you needed from them, and now they get it, right? So I love that. Breakthrough could be also if you're dating, if you're single and you're dating and you finally have a breakthrough with the type of person that you want to be with. Like maybe you meet somebody and that's a breakthrough. Like you're like, oh my God, I finally met somebody that, after like 30 dates of like all of these bad dates, I finally had a breakthrough, at least one person that I might be interested in or something like that. Or, might have, match my values. So I love that. So there's some kind of breakthrough and it feels like very like lethargic. I don't know if that's the right word. Let me think for a second. Feels very maybe liberating or like relief, maybe. Relief is probably the right one. Third one's a charm. So you definitely feel like some kind of relief around this, right? Where you're like, oh, I'm finally being understood. I finally found that person. I finally am getting my needs met. I'm finally, this person is finally getting me or something like that. So there's definitely some relief that comes with that. So I see this as like a really positive thing for sure. All right, what's important? We have slave in the light, surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. Okay, so this is like, it's almost like submission. I never use that word with this, but that just kind of flew out of my mouth. Not gonna lie. Okay, so it's saying it's important to submit. Okay, what does that mean? Let's talk about this. So maybe, this might be like relinquishing control. This might be, and this might not be to like another person. Okay, maybe whatever you guys do in the bedroom is completely up to you, but this could potentially be connected to that in some way, shape, or form. It's under important. It is next to the romantic connection, so just throwing it out there. But this could also mean to the divine. Okay, it actually says that on the card. It's kind of like submit, like relinquishing control and understanding, like giving it to God. Giving it to the divine kind of situation. It could mean like it's actually kind of similar to the Fates card that we have in one of these decks over here, where it's kind of like if it'll be. So it's kind of like you relinquish control over that, and you kind of like give it to destiny in that way. Not the best archetype for that in that way, like the term slave, but that at least I don't necessarily focus on words, as you guys know. I focus on energy, so that's what's coming through there. So it's important to know that. All right, health and wellness. We have soulmates. Okay, so it's giving a few things under health and wellness related to soulmates. This could mean that you find this could quite literally like finding a soulmate through a health and wellness venture. You might meet somebody at the gym. Like it could be quite literal like that. You could, this could be platonic, doesn't have to be romantic. You could, maybe you are, what's another example? Maybe you're going to like a wellness spa over the weekend and you meet them there. This could mean like you also meet like a soulmate connection or part, because soulmate could also mean like basically soulmate means like alignment. Like it feels easier than any other connection that you ever had, or like you've done it before, or it just feels like they get you, more like kindred spirits type energy. So this can mean that you meet like a practitioner that kind of has that vibe, that really has like that partnership vibe, where you feel like you meet somebody and they're like working with you instead of like, more of like an authoritarian type relationship. It's more of like a partnership relationship. This could mean like, it could also translate to like maybe you're already married to your soulmate and you guys decide to go on a health journey together. Maybe you're both deciding to go on a weight loss journey together and just, commit to working out together. Maybe you just both decide to go to therapy at the same time, you and your soulmate. So like it's something like your soulmate is involved in your health and wellness in some way, shape, or form. So it could be that for sure. Could be a bunch of things. And what are we ending with? Earth. Okay. I love this because that actually ties right back to the first ones because the energy was very strong there for sure. And this is basically saying like Earth is home. And so going back to home, right? We actually have a similar card in the Wisdom of the Oracle about, no place like home, I think it's called. So this is about like returning to ourselves, right? Returning to our authentic selves or higher selves, like we're feeling more like ourselves in some way, shape, or form, like we're returning to that. We're going back home in that way. But if we want to look at more of the tangible, more grounded type of stuff from the earth, we might actually be physically going back home. We might be visiting somewhere that makes us feel like home. We might want to live eventually or something like that. We go back to our parents' house. We go back to our old stomping ground of some kind. We go back to the bar that we used to visit or something like that. Could, be that. But it is under overall outcome. So I do feel like it's talking about like more of like a bigger picture. And it definitely ties back into the shapeshifter and the truth be told about. Really telling the truth about ourselves, being honest with ourselves about who we are, who we actually are. And we're not shapeshifting anymore. We're not trying to fit in just to fit in. We really want to be more of our authentic selves and return home, be in our bodies, right? And so I love that. So I think that's great. So hopefully you guys like the new deck kind of weaved in here. I do like it. I think the artwork is fabulous. The message is equally as fabulous. So I think it looks like a good week. I see, no red flags. Again, just watch what you say here, I would say. Just be careful, that, once it's said, you can't unsay it. So definitely think about what you're going to say, and then somebody might hurt you. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. You guys know I tell you the truth. Somebody might hurt you with, something that they say. Can't be prevented necessarily. So that might be probably like the pit or the downer of the week for sure. Obviously, we have our own challenges and issues up here. The time to go, I feel like that's a positive thing. We're letting go of what we don't want anymore. Like we're actively choosing it. We're, spirit is pushing us towards this and away from this, I should say. So, and we're going towards our desires, right? I love that it came after that. That's so good. And this is just kind of like shadow work stuff. Again, shadow does not equal bad. So yeah, I don't see any really red flags here. I really don't. So guys, have a wonderful week and I will see you in the next one. Bye.